10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to StreamGeeks Live. It's an exciting day It's an exciting day for us today, as I have word blurb all over the place. Got a little bit of the case of the Mondays today, but that's all right because we're excited to interview Ariel Viera of Urbanist.
Yes, today we're talking about the art of live streaming and really storytelling with live video. And it's something that we should all kind of take a step back from the tech and think about how to really tell a good story. So that's what we're going to be talking about today with the Urbanist.
With Urbanist.
Urbanist Live.
It's so hard not to say the Urbanist.
Basically, we've been talking about color matching lately. Color matching, camera color matching, and getting the perfect exposure. So head over to the PTZ Optics channels if you missed that, because you can really get some great camera imaging with color matching. No show on Monday. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. No show this Friday. No show this Monday. But on Tuesday, May 29th, we're actually heading out with a really interesting project with our local city here in Westchester, where we're going to interview live shop owners going down the street. And it's going to be a fun project because we're going to be here in the studio interviewing our local government, but then also bringing in Tess as a remote reporter with a live view solo.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that one.
So I wanted to briefly show you guys the new PTZ Android app. If you haven't seen it yet, this thing is so cool. Essentially what it does is it allows us to wirelessly control up to 8 cameras. And I've got it actually set up to control this camera right here. And this is a $50 Android tablet. So I just can't believe, being in the industry so long, that we've come to the point where we can use a $50 Android tablet to wirelessly control up to 8 cameras in our video production. Just blows my mind. But not to mention, we do have a PTZ plugin for OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, which is used by 80% of the live streaming market. And that is over 40 million users. So you can find that plugin on their forum. But it's also available via Windows and Mac. And it's got a lot of cool new features. So you can get that at ptzoptics.com/apps. We are going to be out live streaming a music festival July 14th, so stay in tune for that. We will be bringing you a really great tutorial behind the stage of how to live stream a music festival. And we've got all sorts of new ideas, including real-time audio plugins for various channels of your audio mix.
Hi, what's up, folks? Don't forget, voting is still open for the 2018 Streaming Awards. The awards themselves are on Friday, June 1st, so head to streamingawards.com to cast your votes. Also, some prizes that we just locked down. I want to make sure that you guys know the prizes that your streamer is going to win. For some extra incentive there, we've got X keys. Of course, we have a PTZ Optics camera, a couple NDI HX licenses, Wirecast, vMix. We have Mimo Live, capture cards, teleprompter gear, and more. We have less than 50 tickets available left, so if you want to join us physically for the event, make sure you go to streamingawards.com to grab your tickets to come in and hang out with us that day. Couple other things, you know, we are streaming to Twitch live right now. We just implemented a really cool extension where you could join the live stream and control a camera straight from our studio right now. So head to twitch.tv/sgeeks to control a camera in our studio now. Also, if you're watching on Twitch, we just entered a custom emoji, the savage emoji. Whenever we say something savage, do something savage or ridiculous, shout out that savage emoji so we know that we're mentally insane. Moving on from all this today, the real reason we're here is because we have Urbanist Live's Ariel Viera joining us. He is a passion for culture, for activities, for everything about cities all over the world. And he shares that passion via live video. Today, we're going to talk about his strategy and mentality behind that process.
So without further ado, we want to show you guys a quick little B-roll clip that's going to introduce the idea of storytelling.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. We're going to tell a little story for you guys of how we get ready for our show.
Yeah, so I think some of this new tech gear could really help us with some of our storytelling capabilities.
Like what? What are you thinking?
Well, maybe we could like get another camera angle or maybe buy a new audio mixer.
Paul, it's not just about the equipment, it's about the content.
So you think we should like focus on like the storytelling and the actual content?
Yes. I just read this amazing article and I have the perfect idea for a guest that we can have on to talk about just this.
Oh, cool.
Let's bring him on.
All right. Hi, Ariel.
Hey guys, that was a great intro. I love that.
Thank you so much. We, after reading this article and you talking about how there is sort of a different style of storytelling that can be accomplished with live streaming, we really appreciated that. And we thought, why not put our little flair on it?
Hell yeah.
So why don't you introduce yourself, Vieira, for those of you who don't know. We did a pretty good job of kind of, I think, getting people ready for you. But where are you from? And, give us a little bit about your history.
Yeah, so I'm a native New Yorker. I was raised in New York City, and I fell in love with the city so much that when I discovered Facebook Live after launching the Facebook Live programming for Curbed, which is a home and architecture blog, part of Vox Media, that I decided that I really wanted to cover the history of this city and show people around the world all the interesting stories, the secrets, and the best food of New York City. So I decided to launch this Facebook Live show, Urbanist, where I explore cities all around the world and show everyone its history. So I'm not limited to New York City. I'm currently based in New York City, but I've covered so far 6 different cities around the world.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
And you get
cool.
to travel. If you like traveling, that's a nice plus.
Yeah, a lot of my viewers call it armchair traveling, where they can sit, they can travel the world from the comfort of their own phone.
That's so
I love
amazing. And
that.
I know we were talking earlier that you stream to Facebook using their API, which allows you to use geotagging and show up on that Facebook Live map, which must work so well for your type of city tour style streaming. We were reading your blog post on Medium, and you talked a little bit about emotion through motion. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about how you take your audience on this tour and what goes into the thought process of your journey that you take them on.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons I'm doing Facebook Live is because I'm a filmmaker. I consider what I'm doing 2-hour long take films going through a city. So to me, the stories are very important, but also the cinematography. And I think on Facebook Live, I can't rely on editing because obviously you can't really edit on a mobile Facebook Live on the go, especially as a one-man team. So I have to rely on other cinematographic techniques, which is
Mhm.
motion. Because through motion, you are able to convey a story as powerful as you could do with an edit. And I do these various types of shots that I do in order to immerse people more into the tour. So one shot I do specifically is what I call the friend shot. And the friend shot is, so one thing I've noticed from a lot of these documentaries and travel shows and like Vice documentaries, every time they shoot the host talking to the audience, they shoot the host front walking towards the camera. So it's a very authoritative figure. I don't want to be an authoritative figure. Facebook Live, I am hosting it, but I want everyone to feel like they're my friends
Mhm.
hanging out with me, that they're in equal footing. So what I do is the friend shot. And rather than put the camera right in front of my face, I put it right next to me. And then I walk
Interesting
around
technique.
and I'll walk at the same direction as if they were walking right besides me.
Wow.
So that's one of the many shots I do. Another shot I do to tell emotion through motion is what I call the wow shot. And the wow shot is, that feeling when you look out at a piece of architecture, say the Empire State Building, and you look at it in awe because the Empire State Building is this massive building in the middle of New York City. It's an iconic landmark that most people know around the world. But when you look at it in a way where your eyes kind of go up around the top and then back down. So I do the same thing with my camera. I mimic that eye movement where I do a pan up kind of tilt to the side and then pan down. And I call it the wow shot because every time I do that type of shot, without even saying a word, people press that wow face button.
That's as literal as it gets.
Yeah, indeed. So I think like why depend on motion? I think depending on motion is a great way to tell a story, not only through what's being spoken, which is very important for Facebook Live, but also what's being shown.
Absolutely. And I think you've really hit the nail on the head with the idea of, doing a live Facebook video is not so much about like a cinematographic feel, but more, it's a tough word. I'm having a hard time today speaking. I don't know why. But it's kind of about having an interaction with your audience and feeling that they are somebody that you know and that you're somebody that's very accessible to them.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about live video. Live video is different from any other type of medium. A lot of people try to treat it like if it were a video, like if it were a normal video, but you have the audience interaction. And you can't depend as much on editing because you can't really do quick edits on the fly on live video. It's very difficult to do that. Even sports broadcasts, you see that they have these huge teams, they still cut away maybe after every 2 or 3 minutes. Or they have set cameras in various positions and they're able to cut away quickly, but it's only with a set amount of cameras. But I think the difference in live video from regular video is the audience interaction. It's not a one-to-many approach, nor is it a one-to-one like a conference call. It's a one-to-one and a one-to-many at the same exact time. So I'm both, as a live video host, I'm both the host to speaking as if I were speaking to that one individual commenter and also speaking to everyone else at the same time. So it's almost similar like theater. I think of it as theater, where theater, you're on the stage and you want to make people feel like they're the only person in the room, but also that they're there with other people. And just like theater, it generally sucks when there's only 2 people in the audience. But when you have a full house, it's awesome.
Absolutely. That kind of guides us into our next topic, which is that community interaction. What are some types of ways that you often see, interaction happening in your live shows?
Yeah, so I assume you guys have experienced this a whole lot with your own live show, with people ask questions. I think that's the base thing with live videos, when people ask questions, because when they're asking questions, they are curious about what you're talking about, curious about what you're showing, and they want to be part of the experience. But other simple audience interaction techniques, I think it's the most simplest, but the most mind-blowing for most people. It's the one little technique that if you do it will completely change the game. It's saying someone's name. Because when you say someone's name, like Tess, that person is hooked.
Gets their attention
from start to finish.
They almost jump a little bit, because I've experienced it myself, like watching a celebrity's or somebody else's stream. And then even Tom Sinclair, one of our friends and fellow streamers, when he says my name, it's like, oh, he's talking to me. And it's cool. It's a fun feeling.
Maybe you should do some. Why don't we do some call outs? Maybe.
I know I'm chatting.
Who's watching?
I'm chatting like this, but we're so deep in conversation. Elena's with us. Hi, Elena. Is Mike Swaim one of yours, Ariel?
I think so. Yeah, he's one of my fellow urbanists. Yeah.
Mike, thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad that you were able to come check us out and support your buddy. Who else do we have over here on Twitch? We have Nick, who also has a live show all about Madison, Wisconsin. Really cool to express his love for his own city. Who else do we have over here on YouTube? We have John Thompson, Thomas Hendricks. We've got Richard, Jim, Daniel Wright, Kirk, everybody here to watch and hang out with us, which is awesome.
Amazing.
Thanks, guys.
So we have a list here of things. One of the things that was really interesting to me was hearing about how you went from 10,000, you got 10,000 likes on Facebook within 4 months. That was another article I was reading that you mentioned. Maybe could you tell people how you did that and what were some of your strategies?
Yeah, so that was 10,000 followers, all organic. And the way I did it
Nice.
all organically was collaborate with pages far larger than mine to share my videos while they're live. So one of the very first pages I collaborated with was newyork.com. And I collaborated with them on my very first broadcast, asked them to share my live video, framed it in a way that I said, I'm covering the history of Hell's Kitchen in New York City. I think your followers would love to see that and learn more about Hell's Kitchen. Care to share this video? And they did. And my very first video, I got 2,000 views.
Wow.
And just like the analogy I did with theater before, it's not only your job as a live video producer or host to make a good story and show good footage, also to get an audience, because the bigger the audience, the better the live video. And then the other technique I used to get those 10,000 followers was sharing with Facebook groups. And Facebook groups have been a huge asset, and they're becoming increasingly the biggest asset on Facebook, because Facebook groups are highly engaged people, highly engaged groups of people who gravitate to one certain topic. So, for example, when I do a live video of, say, the history of Times Square, I target groups that are about history, groups that are about Times Square, New York City, et cetera, et cetera. And that allows me to grow my audience even further. And sometimes I share those videos while I'm live as well. So the benefit of sharing a video while you're live is that you're able to get immediate access to that audience while you're live. So the techniques I do to make sure those new followers are engaged followers is I ask them where they're from and say hi to them by name. 2, I ask them to like the page if they want to see more videos like this. And all it takes is a simple little ask. And then 3 is I ask them to share if they want to show the history of New York City to their friends and family, or they want to show X reason for X reason. And I think that goes a long way with increasing your reach immediately during live video, because I am providing value to people by talking about history and practical travel tips and showing them a cityscape. So that practical value I'm offering them also translates to practical value that I offer to their friends and family by sharing my broadcasts. So I make it as simple as that, like share my video for that reason.
Absolutely. It's a really scalable topic too.
Oh, totally. It's really scalable.
Yes. Yeah, so travel is huge now on social media. The travel Instagram or influencer industry is huge now, going to the multiple of billions of dollars. So I think the same thing will translate to live video.
Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned that with the user groups, because that's, the majority of our community is in our user groups, and they're beginning to surpass our Facebook pages themselves. And it's just invaluable to us, our user group members, because they're people that have opted to be there. They want to hear from us. And the fact that they have opted into the user group, we're able to gain their attention in a way never before possible. So we're extremely happy to have that. And feel free to join our user group because we've got a bunch of people that are interested in live streaming. If you want to ever share anything in there, we'd be happy to have you.
100% will do. And I think that's why Facebook is awesome for live video, because Facebook has the ability to share your live videos on the spot, which YouTube does not have a social media network attached to it, because that's not what the platform is. And then also Twitch, there's not really a service to get your videos out there unless if you're playing a specific video game. So with Facebook, you have that very unique opportunity where you can engage communities and you can engage pages and brands. For example, every time I am sponsored by a major brand, part of that sponsorship deal or package is that they share the live video while it's live. So I've been shared live by Sennheiser and Away Travel and many other major brands, Visit Philadelphia being another one. And the great thing is that I engage both audiences at the same time. So I'm not only providing engagement to my own audience, but I'm also providing engagement and entertainment to their audience.
Yeah, and you mentioned collaboration, which is one of the tips that we highly recommend, and that, you know, that's what we're doing right now. We're always looking for collaboration opportunities. And I definitely think that's one of the things you mentioned that's, you know, a main source of growth for a lot of creators online and live streamers.
Yeah, definitely. I think collaboration across the board for any type of social media content is great. But I think with live video, it's especially interesting because, as I said, you can get that immediate interaction. With a YouTube video, for example, a produced recorded YouTube video. If you do a collaboration, you may click on that person that they collaborate with. Like, let's say I'm watching a Nerd Writer video essay, and then Real Life Lore, which is another big video essayist, is featured in one of those video essays. I might follow him. But on the live video, since you're seeing my face and I'm saying your name and you're there watching at the moment, that conversion rate is way higher. So you can convert followers at a much higher rate through live video than you can on any other platform. At least that's from my perspective and experience.
Yeah,
How about you guys?
I think that's a great place to end our Facebook and YouTube broadcast. And what we'll do is we'll ask. I have a couple more questions I want to ask you, but we'll follow up on the post show.
Cool.
So that was Ariel Viera
of Urbanist Live, who goes live on Facebook. Do you have a specific time, day that you go live, or, you know, how do you schedule your streams?
So for the first year and a half, I've not done any schedules. But now, starting this week, I'm starting a schedule. And I'm going live every Friday at 3 p.m. And then the other days are still TBD, but every Friday, 3 p.m.
Excited to see where you travel.
Yeah.
All right, hang tight with us, Ariel, because we switched to Twitch for our post show. Thank you so much for joining us here on Facebook and YouTube. Guys, head over to twitch.tv/SGeeks to participate in trivia, ask questions to Ariel, and to join us for a live giveaway. We'll see you there.
Twitch side of things, I see somebody control the camera as it moves. Yeah. So you gotta show the Twitch video. So I was thinking, if you want, maybe just build it into like the middle there. Yeah. Just throw it on as an overlay. That could work.